up others. You gotta love the mothers. And you gotta hug the ones who bring us joy and love. It's the middle with the moms and it's your day.
Okay, let's cheers. Thanks for doing this with me.
You're welcome.
This is sponsored by Bud Light Seltzer. Just kidding. That would be cool.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. Okay. Tori Milligan is joining me today on the pod.
More booze.
Thank you for being here today. I'm so excited. You are a fellow mom, role model, friend, old teammate. I met you in high school. We played soccer together, and then you went to UT Martin to play soccer, and then I joined you. I even came on a visit with you, and I remember that like it was yesterday. But then, grew up a little bit, came back home, and it was your turn to get married and have some babies, and I got to film 2 out of 3 babies being born. One sort of got to. I gave you the camera because COVID ruined that. But yeah, so I definitely want to talk to you today about mom life, mom stuff, how it is having 3 kids that are really close in age, and being a working mom because you are a hard working mom. So I'm excited. Thanks for coming. And yeah, why don't you tell everybody what you do for a living first?
Good place to start. I am a physician assistant. Name is currently changing to physician associate. We are very similar to nurse practitioners, which is more well-known and understood, but we write our own prescriptions, see our patients, full treatment plans, and I work in the emergency department.
Oh,
So
lots of stories there.
Lots of stories. It's a full TV show.
Yeah. Tori's Anatomy.
So lots of fun there.
Yes.
Lots of medical drama, you would say.
Oh, yeah. And why don't you tell us about your babies?
3 babies. Jackson is 5.
Oh, my gosh.
Big boy.
That's crazy.
Blake is 3. And Cole, little tiny, can I call him a little shit on podcast? He is almost 2.
Oh, my gosh.
He will be 2 next month. Like literally, what's today? The 6th, May 8th, he will be 2.
That is so weird.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. That is so crazy. They're growing up so fast.
Yeah, but I also feel like I can breathe.
Yeah.
Right?
I know. Every day, I mean, Chess is in the terrible 2s, so it's a little rough, but every day does really feel like it gets easier, especially since they have each other and can like entertain themselves or get in there. But 3, I mean, just having 1, I thought was hard. No, bringing that second one in, baby and a toddler, ooh,
yep,
rough. As you know. First, let's start off talking about your birth experience.
Oh, no.
Because I got to actually be there. Just a little side note, your OB is my mom's best friend's daughter, who's also my OB. And all 3 of us went to St. Agnes. And when you hired me to capture this, or I don't know if you really hired me, I was kind of dating your brother-in-law.
Good memories, nothing but good memories.
Great memories. But I showed up and was like there, I don't know, more than 12 hours. I don't know. I was there for so long waiting. Yeah. So you could definitely talk about all that. But the fact that I got to watch my mom's best friend's daughter in action and also be there for you and capture that moment was incredible. But it was a little bit scary. Just a bit scary. It was my first birth experience. Never even seen it on video before. Obviously, I knew where babies come from, but ooh. But I will say, after that experience, it made me want to have a baby. Why?
I don't know. Well, the film, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's the film.
Like you can
the emotions.
Still see the emotions and everything about. But yeah, I could talk about Jackson's birth specifically.
Yeah.
All day. It was insane. I still cannot believe that you had children after watching that. I can't believe I had more children after.
I know. That's what I can't believe.
Yeah. So to start, I guess it was a Friday. I was 39 weeks pregnant. October in Memphis. It was hot.
Oh, so hot.
My
And
mother.
we're the cutest pregnant girl in the entire world.
Oof, I don't know.
Yes, you carry
that
babies
one was rough.
so well.
Well, it was hot. I was swollen. I was ready to be done. And I've been having contractions for weeks, all that. But finally, this one is hurting. And it started on a Friday morning. I went to Target with Mom. We're having this baby today. Funny joke. Definitely didn't have that baby that day. Finally, by Friday night, I remember Matt had invited some neighbors. We had some friends over. We were watching football, and I was in the back bedroom, like full labor, just screaming, just get me out of here. Matt was a little, we'll say it, Matt had been drinking.
He felt pretty good.
He felt pretty good. I was like, get me out of here. Like, we've got to go. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So we sent the neighbors home, and friends took over with the dogs and getting house stuff ready.
Yeah.
And checked in the hospital. I wasn't really progressing. I was just contracting and throwing up and screaming and getting absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Finally, after some meds, it maybe moved a little bit. I'm not sure. That was Friday night. Jackson wasn't born until Sunday at 5:45 in the afternoon. Y'all were all there for so long.
You were there for so long. My God. So how long technically was your labor?
I guess, it really started that Friday morning, and just probably contractions every 5 to 10 minutes for several hours. And
That's over 48 hours.
so long.
That's insane.
And that obviously ended up being a problem.
Yeah.
So by the time it was time to push for Jackson,
Wait, did your water break on its own?
no,
Okay.
one of my 3 did ever break.
okay,
So they
okay,
broke
okay.
it every time.
Okay.
Dr. Wright was on call and at like 5:30, I think, and Jackson was born at 5:45. So by the time she got there, when it was her turn, I had a fever and just vital signs weren't doing good. I was really starting not to feel well. And I'm not sure. Big blur for me. My epidurals weren't working.
Yeah, I was going to say,
right?
you forgot that part.
It worked for a while. Like, I wasn't in pain like that whole time, but I think it was so long. They said I just metabolized everything.
Yeah,
and there was nothing else we could do.
They tried a spinal block, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And we did it all. We pushed every med we could, and it would work for a few minutes, and it was just done. Then I was back in full-blown 9-10 centimeters.
Yeah.
And Dr. Wright, she injected some local lidocaine right before delivery, and that definitely, I'm sure, helped.
Yeah.
I guess long story short, I had gotten a pretty bad uterine infection during labor, and it just spiraled downhill from there. Jackson got him out. Big boy.
You were a complete badass. It was insane. You looked amazing doing it too. After going through all of that, you were just like, all right.
Nope.
It's on video. Watch it.
It's in black and white.
It is in black and white. I did that on purpose.
It was not cute. So we got him out, but then my placenta had shredded, and I remember, I don't remember, you told me watching, pulling out lots and just absolute nightmare, bleeding too much. I ended up needing IV antibiotics. I needed a couple blood transfusions. I felt like I was absolutely dying.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That was terrifying.
My only memory is your video. That's the only thing I have from that day, because I don't remember.
Thank God I
any of it.
have it. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm so glad that you do have it. And
Yeah.
it looks beautiful despite
I'm
all
obsessed.
of the bad.
I know. No one knows. I feel like no one, obviously your close friends, family, but no one watching that video has any idea.
It's an idea. I think when I go back and watch it, the thing is that you can see Matt holding Jackson and then him showing him to me, and knowing in that moment, Dr. Wright was working on me so quick to try to get the bleeding to stop, and doing that DNC right then.
Yeah.
And me not being able to hold Jackson. I remember when they finally wheeled me up out of labor and delivery to the floor, them holding me Jackson, and I was like, someone take this baby, because I can't do it. It was awful.
You were worried about you're going to pass out or something. And I do want to ask, did you because I was in there, if it was somebody else or something, I probably wouldn't have been in there that long. I don't know why I was in there. I'm glad, because I got to get moments with Jackson and Matt, literally them sticking their tongues out at each other. That was so cute. But Alicia, obviously, or Dr. Wright obviously knows me so well, and she looked at me and she was like, Camilla, I know how you are, because, you know, I used to like, I'm way better now, but
Right.
if I saw blood, I would like pass out or something. But she was like, I know how you are, like, do not look. And right when she said that, I looked, and she's like doing the DNC, which is, if anyone knows what that is, that's terrifying. And she was like, get the banjo. And I'm like picturing a banjo guitar. I'm like, why does she need a banjo? But, oh, it was just, you were so strong. But, like, did you, like, pass out, or did they give you something to let you go to sleep?
They finally knocked me out.
Okay, because I don't remember if they did, but I remember you, like, literally just kind of, like, you were, like, talking, and then you, like, fell asleep. And I was like, oh, my God. And, like, Matt's, like, white as a ghost. And then she was like, don't look. And I, like, looked, and, like, there's a bag, you know, down there to catch everything. She's like, oh, you know,
Scraping,
doing
I know.
the scraping. Oh, my God. But, and then, like, I looked, and I literally see her pick up, like, your placenta, and she's, like, looking at it to see if there's pieces missing. What the fuck? I was like, or beep. I was like, what? And then I looked at Matt, and we just, like, looked at each other, and we just kind of started laughing, but it was, like, not a good situation to laugh at, but we're, like, so uncomfortable, we don't know what to do. We're like,
Right.
but,
laugh.
oh, that was crazy, but she did so great taking care of you. You did amazing. Oh my gosh. And thank God, like, Matt is such, like, a good dad. Like, he just held that baby. Like, I know other people that were like, oh my God, no, I can't take the baby. Like, men. Yes, men. But no, gosh. And then going to see you after, because I videoed, like, I videoed the parents, like, yes. Oh my gosh.
Dad being in there. I'm so glad you
yes.
that,
Oh my gosh. Yes. I, like, followed them walking down the hall, and your dad's, like, waving at the nurses. He's like, hey, ladies.
I love that. I love it so much.
It's perfect.
It is.
But them seeing him, like, that was a perfect moment. But seeing you there, like, you get to, like, relive that. I'm so glad, because that was hard, and you were feeling rough. You probably didn't want to see anybody, but you did it for everybody to be able to meet him.
It was, gosh, the memories, I probably blocked a lot of it out.
Yeah.
But we had so many friends there. It was the first baby for the grandparents on both sides, for all of our friends, all of our UT Morton people. And we had the biggest support system there when Jackson was born, and we'll never forget and love every single person that was there for that. And even Kim's mom was in town just randomly that weekend, and she brought us food like just right away.
Yeah.
Definitely probably down some McDonald's.
Oh, absolutely.
I
think we went and got it for you.
Yeah, you probably did.
Yeah, you needed that. You were about to get, like, I think right when we left, we had to leave because you were getting a transfusion. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I got a couple units over a couple days, and I was there for about a week after Jackson was born.
Oh my, wait, what? In the hospital?
Maybe
I don't remember
3 or 4 days. Yeah.
That's insane.
I was on the antibiotics. I was still.
Yeah. Well, I was with the dogs.
Yeah.
So
you did. You stayed at the house.
I stayed at the house.
And you took care of my 2 fur babies for me. And it was
I got to video y'all coming home with him, and then meeting him, and then y'all in the nursery with him for the first time. That was so special. I always offer that, but no one else has ever taken that up, because they'll think about it, but then when they're in the moment, I mean, you're just so tired. But I had to be there because I was house sitting.
You were house sitting.
So
I'm glad we have it.
I know.
I watch it and I'm like, damn, we had no clue what we were doing.
Right.
Like, just even trying to change that first diaper when Jackson's in there, he's screaming.
Yep.
Yeah, there is no prepreration for that.
Oh, they're like, here's this human being, take it, and you don't know what you're doing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I mean, I had my little sister, but we were 9 years apart, so I had maybe some experience, but babysitting, but God, no, there's nothing that prepares you for bringing home that first baby.
Definitely not.
It is a whirlwind.
Yeah, and then you aren't just babysitting. Like, you have to stay with those babies, and then you literally have to deal with all the hormones and the healing down there. Did you have stitches down there?
Yes.
TMI.
For 1 and 2.
Okay.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
3 was,
That's crazy.
Maybe 3.
Maybe if we have another one, that won't happen to me, because I definitely had to have stitches for both. The second one was worse. It was like the same exact spot, but more. Isn't that weird?
Ouch.
I mean, I'm glad, I guess. I don't know. I guess it looks like it down there. No. I don't know, but you just, after that, obviously that was traumatic. And Alicia, or Dr. Wright, was like, wow, Camille, this was your first birth. You're never going to do this again. You're never going to have babies again. And what happened? Like, I don't even know if was it a year later or something?
Like, wait.
No, it definitely was longer than that, because he's 5. Chessa will be 3.
I think you told me you had found out you were pregnant with Chessa like the week Blake was born.
Okay, yes, because I was pregnant while I was filming Blake being born, and I didn't know it.
Right.
And I was like so emotional, and I was like, oh my God, I just can't wait for this. And whoops. I was pregnant. But let's talk about Blake. How was Blake's, which is her beautiful daughter that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Woo, she's going to be a heartbreaker.
Oh, she is something else.
Yeah.
God, she is all the things. She is stupid smart.
Oh, yeah.
She is funny. She's absolutely hilarious. She is beautiful. She has that hair and that eyelashes that 30-year-old
so
women
jealous.
want.
Yeah,
I know. It's insane. For two people that were terrified to have a daughter,
you thought you were gonna have all boys.
we thought we were gonna have all boys. I thought it was just like in the works. Like we were fated for boy, mom, and dad life, and she, oof.
Yeah, she got your heart.
Yeah, but I can't handle her. Like the sass. Like, there's no. I'm like, you go talk to your dad.
Oh, don't get me started. We're in that stage because Blake is 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Chessa will be 3 in October. It is insane. She was the most perfect chill baby in the entire world. Like we don't realize how easy we had it, honestly. But wow. And then literally right when we brought Raylan home, that's when it started. And she loves him. She doesn't have any hatred towards him or anything, which that happens sometimes, you bring a new baby, but she didn't. And we made sure I had time with her and stuff like that. Obviously with breastfeeding Raylan, like I had to be with him more, but she was fine. But geez, the terrible 2 started before she was 2. I mean, the sass, the attitude. She will look at me and she goes, "No, ma'am," to me or to Wade. Like, what? No. Like, so she's saying whatever I'm saying. So am I not supposed to say, "No, ma'am," when you're doing something? So now I'm like, "Don't do that. Don't do that." And in my head, I'm like, "I'm going to kill you."
At least she has manners with the ma'am.
Right.
Right.
At least she says ma'am,
I guess. Ma'am. I mean, honestly, like 10 out of 10 Chessa.
Oh, gosh. She is, I mean, you just saw it. Her little sass and oof. But anyway, Blake. So she's got the sass too. Her and Chessa will be best friends then.
They will.
They'll rule the world.
They'll be good. They'll take care of each other.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Like we do.
Yeah, exactly. They're just little S's.
They are. So Blake, her birth was so much less dramatic than Jackson's once we got there. I went into labor with Blake at actually 31 weeks. Dr. Wright is a saint. I don't know how many times I called her like, "Hey,
yeah,
something's wrong," over and over. Mm-hmm. And I had finally gone into labor around 31 weeks, and I was in the hospital for maybe 4 or 5 days. She stopped it.
Yes, I remember that because I was like waiting to go in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I stayed on bed rest for several weeks, went back to work maybe at 37 weeks and hoping, all right,
you're crazy.
That will spur it. Like she'll come out.
Right.
Hell no. She stayed.
She was like, "You want me staying here?"
Until my induction day. Now I did like go into induction that morning, like 4 a.m. and I had started contracting a few hours earlier. So I was rolling. I was probably like 3 or 4 centimeters by the time we got me hooked up. And it was pretty uneventful at that point.
Yeah.
I think I was just so stressed that, I just wanted her out safe. I wanted her healthy after her preterm labor scare. Bringing home baby 2 is a different thing.
Yeah.
It's, okay, I'm about to rock Jackson's world. Is he going to be okay?
Yeah.
You're so terrified. And
how did you do it? Like, how did you like give him, they say give them presents and say it's from the baby. Like, what did you do?
Nothing. Just loved the babies. I don't know. This is it. People do it all the time.
Yeah.
And there's an information overload out there for moms.
I know.
And
it's so overwhelming
exhausting.
and you feel like you're wrong or doing the wrong thing.
And really all you're doing is just surviving one day at a time. And exactly. I distinctly remember just literally getting through. In fact, we had like the whole house had a stomach bug from Jackson, like 3 days before she was born. And at this point we were just like, oh God, like we're exhausted.
And you had to push a baby out. Your epidural worked for it.
Yes. Well, yeah, it did. Really, not.
Or was it half of your body?
My right side never really did well.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked it. Like I could feel the pain. It helped me direct how to push and when to push. It was manageable.
Yes.
And that's something I was prepared for it to not work completely after Jackson's situation. And that's just things that, even though I'm working the medical field, obviously I'm not OBGYN, but people don't tell you as much like about what can go wrong. No one wants to scare anybody.
No.
Right. No. But I was not prepared for it. When I went into Jackson, I thought I'd get my epidural, it'd be good, like all this stuff. And I was not prepared that things can go wrong.
Absolutely.
Because I guess people don't talk about enough child loss and complications and traumatic births.
I think it will not happen to you too.
And it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
Until it happened. And so friends will ask, my pregnant friends, and I will tell them, but I warn them, like, this probably won't happen to you.
Yeah.
But even if it does, whenever I get a text from a friend that they're having their first baby, I always tell them, like, you are stronger than you know.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what you told me.
Yeah.
Because I text you every day and I was like, this just happened in my stomach. You're like, it's fine. He's kicking. I'm like, oh.
You can do this. It's going to be okay. Yeah. You know, she came out crying. Like, she cried and she cried.
So, yes. She was making her entrance.
Oh.
It's on the video. There's another video.
I was like, someone just.
You're like, I'm already tired from one kid.
Because Jackson was silent when he came out, right?
Yeah,
Remember, he was just looking around and taking it in, and Blake like was pissed that we forced her out of her comfy spot. But she was my best newborn.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. She was chill.
She was chill.
That's like Chess. Her and Chess are the same.
I moved her up to her crib, like upstairs, probably at 6 weeks. She was sleeping.
That's so funny.
She was easy. We also knew what we were doing a little better.
Oh,
at this
absolutely.
point.
Was Jackson in his own room?
Maybe not till 6 months.
Okay.
Or so.
Okay.
But,
so he was when you brought Blake home. He was in his own room.
Oh yeah, but we had moved him out of his crib. He was 2.
Yeah.
Because he was climbing out.
Oh yeah.
And he woke up every night about 2 or 3 a.m. screaming. And so I would go with my belly and I'd go crawl into his like floor mattress and cuddle with him. And and it still happened right after Blake was born. We were up with Jackson and we were up with Blake and we were taking turns, and that sleep deprivation
makes you crazy.
It does. That's all you can
like
think
don't
about.
know who you are and you react completely differently. Like you might know in your head how I should react, but you're like, oh my God, you're crazy. You have to sleep. Yeah.
It's exhausting. It's nothing that you're prepared for. No. There's no preparing for it. There's nothing you can do.
Nope.
You just do it.
You just have to do it because you're a parent and you want to take care of those kids, which shows you're an incredible parent when you're doing that. And obviously, I really wanted to talk to you about it because you're telling me all the time, you're like, you need to do something for yourself. But like me time, that is so important. And I just was like, I had postpartum depression with Chessa so bad that I probably because I left her too soon for work, and I just, breastfeeding was not doing good. I was failing, or I felt like I was failing. And then I felt pressure to stop doing it because I wasn't doing good enough. And then I was like, well, I'm not stopping. Like, I'm going to do this. But anyway, it was just like a lot. And so I was like, I'm going to be completely selfless. But then I wasn't doing anything for myself. Like I got to a point, well, I don't know about after Chessa, but really after Raylan, I wasn't even washing my face. Like I sell a beauty counter. I wasn't even using it. I was not doing that. When you don't wash your face, like they say, like your skin ages quicker. You look like it. God, I look like I aged 30 years. I was like, oh my God. And then I wasn't eating, and you have to take me time. So what is your advice for new moms or moms now? Like what do you do? Like, what do you consider your me time?
It has gotten easier now that the kids are older. Yeah. And I have all 3 in school.
Yes, that's huge.
Because of our jobs, me and Matt's jobs, obviously. I don't have any advice for that newborn stage. You just gotta
survive.
You just gotta survive it one day at a time. Family, friends, make sure you're doing the small things. It seems ridiculous, but make sure you're taking your shower and make sure you're feeding yourself. And eating. You just got to do the basic things to get through the day. Yeah. But as they get older, you're gonna find more time. It's not gonna last forever.
That's true.
So just keep going. That's my advice. One day at a time.
Yeah.
And it will get better.
Yeah.
And now even that Cole's almost 2, and I have a little bit more free time depending on my work schedule for the week. I don't know. I don't have any hobbies.
I don't have any hobbies.
I work. I social drink. I go to lunch. Yeah. That's my me time.
That's good. Absolutely.
I try to spend my time with friends when I have the time. Go get lunch, go to Babalu, get a marg.
Absolutely.
Talk with friends.
That is huge. Keeping your friends, and you know who your good friends are after you have kids, I feel like. Because I will say, you never know what what a new parent is going through. I feel like unless you've really kind of been through it, but you can still like have empathy for them.
Right.
And I feel like I did pretty good with weaning out the bad friends or the ones that weren't really, there to help me be a better person. But gosh, I had postpartum depression and anxiety both times. So, when you are feeling that way and that low, you kind of don't want to talk to anybody.
Right.
So I feel like all of y'all, gave me that space, but you're also consistently, staying in touch with me.
Checking in.
So that's awesome. But I guess, I did not do a good job with the me time after Tressa, but I just worked so much. So I was still socializing. I would say that's a big one. Socializing, with adults and not just babies is a big one. Wade and I will sometimes catch ourselves doing what Tressa does. Like emotions or something. We're like, wow, we've been around her by ourselves too long. We need adults.
To get out. Yes, absolutely.
But now, since January got here, I told myself okay, this has gone too far. I love my life. I love my friends. I love my kids. I'm just stuck in this depression. I just don't think I ever got over it, the postpartum. And there's my friend posted this the other day, there's no limit on postpartum.
Right.
It's really forever.
It is.
And so I really just don't think I ever really got rid of it. And I got pregnant so quick with Raylan that when I got pregnant, I felt normal again. It was weird. It was I had to be pregnant to feel normal.
Right. I remember you telling me that.
After she was born, me and Wade were oh, we're not having another kid for years, but my body, and that's what I thought, but my body, every month I'd be Mom, I'm pregnant. I think I'm pregnant. And she'd be no, you're not. Cause I just thought every month I was. And I guess maybe my body just knew Raylan was supposed to be here. I don't know. But once I got pregnant, I felt normal again. But then right when I wasn't pregnant, boom, depression. But this time, anxiety so bad. I have a doctor's appointment Friday. I'm praying to God that I can find some kind of meds to help me. And no shame on meds. I've tried everything natural, honestly. I've tried, like I said in January, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to go out. I try to go to dinner once a week with a friend or my mom or something. I actually wash my face twice a day now. Woo. Shower more. I don't know. Wade takes the kids to his parents so I can work. You just have to be alone. And it's a balance of, gosh, I don't want to be alone because I don't want to miss a single second with him. Raylan's about to start walking and I might miss him, really walk,
Right.
But I'm you know what? I just have to. I have to work, but I have to have me time or I'm going to go insane.
And you love your job too. That's the thing. You love what you do. And no one, you think about parenting long term, back in the day, it's so different in 2020, 2022, but these villages that everyone talks about, grandparents, they did it together and I don't see it that way anymore. I did it first. I'm going to miss this when I go back to work and the guilt was overwhelming, but now I see it as, man, how lucky are we and are my kids to have these grandparents and great grandparents and aunts for these big first time things.
Absolutely. You're so right. Because a lot of people either don't have that or they don't live in the same place.
Right.
I could not imagine.
Yep.
It would be so hard. It would be impossible actually. Because if he had a gig or something and I had a wedding, I don't trust anybody. I need to find a babysitter that I can trust. Because my parents want to go out too.
Yeah, everyone's still got their own lives, and but they're lucky. You're not a bad mom or parent if you miss that first. You can't. There's so many firsts. You can't be there for all of it. Yeah. And as long as you're enjoying the time when they're there and when they're doing it, who cares? I honestly probably can't even remember the very first steps of these three.
Yeah.
I remember Blake's because it was COVID.
Yeah.
We were like housebound and locked, and but I'm trying to think about Cole. third baby problems.
Third baby problems. You say second, but third.
Third baby problems. Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna go through some videos on my phone.
You probably have it on video. It'll come back on a memory or something.
You know what? He's walking and he's happy and he's healthy.
Oh, he's the cutest thing.
It's every day is something that makes you smile. It's not just these big firsts. So I would definitely tell these young moms you're gonna miss some things, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And the mom guilt is a huge thing, but I think that like since I have like the worst postpartum anxiety known to man, right now today's great. Maybe because it's a Bud Light seltzer. Speaking of which, let me pop another one. Do you want to try mango or do you want strawberry again?
We'll swap them.
Okay. Let's do it. Yeah, what I was gonna say was, mom guilt is a very real thing, and I think for me, I might not even like agree with what I'm guilty about or even really feel that way, but like my postpartum anxiety, like I'll see really like social media can be so great because it can have so much great information. Like I really have learned a lot. Like while I was breastfeeding, I followed a breastfeeding profile or whatever, and I learned a lot. Like I did, but then like just seeing, I don't know, maybe other people's lives, like it looks a lot easier. Their kid looks a lot more well behaved. I don't know, but you do have to remember, and I talked about this on my last podcast, like not everybody has to be vulnerable especially on social media. You don't have to be, and that's okay. Because I used to be like, oh, I heard that, they got in a fight and now she's posting a picture, wow, fake. No, like she can do whatever she wants. Maybe they're okay now. Like you just can't judge anybody. And then you can't feel guilty. You can't compare yourself. And so the anxiety, like obviously like I've tried like everything natural. Like I said, like, I even have like these supplements called Anxious List, and like I can kind of tell like that they help, but I'm telling you, like sometimes I'll just wake up in the morning, I just have it. Like there's no reason. I just have this anxiety. Like my body is on fire. Even like my vision looks weird. Like it looks like lights are around. I mean, I've never had anxiety in my life. Like it is crazy. And the thoughts that I have.
Intrusive thoughts.
Oh my God. It's not good. And like, I'm like, I've avoided taking medication, honestly, because I was terrified it was going to make me like if I saw something on the ground and I think in my head, oh my God, like Raylan's going to put that in his mouth and he's going to choke on it and then he's going to die. Like that was what my thoughts would be. I was scared that I would not notice the thing on the ground and then it would happen. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not taking medication. It's not going to do that to me. No. It's going to make me think, okay, let me pick this up and that's it. Instead of he's going to choke and die. Like I think the worst things, like I'm driving down the road, I see an airplane. I'm like, all right, bombs are about to fall down. I'm not kidding.
It's not funny.
And then I'm like, funny. It is funny. I'm like, then I'm I'm 30 minutes from the kids. Like, and then I imagine me in like Walking Dead or something and like trying to track back to them. Like I'm not good at maps. I need my phone, but then the service is gone. I'm serious, Tori. It's so
doomsday anxiety is real.
Oh, is that what that's called? Yeah. Because I even dream about it. Bad. I dream it's either zombies or aliens or just like, I mean, the state of our country and our world, like it's not good right now, the Ukraine stuff. So that's probably another reason why I'm dreaming about this stuff or thinking about it. But I'm like, if I could go not thinking about that, like that would be great. Because if that did happen, I would still be able to handle myself. Like it'll still be fine.
You're still going to take care of your kids.
Yeah, but I would rather not freaking suffer and think about this and I don't know. It's horrible. So
it happens. You're not alone.
I know.
And modern medicine is great.
I know.
So
I honestly, I mean, I've had a lot of photo sessions lately, and I'm pretty open. I'm very, I'm vulnerable to help people because I take a lot of like maternity sessions, especially with new moms, because I'm always, doing the wedding, then the maternity, then the birth or whatever. But I always just tell them, I'm like, preparing them, but not scaring them, but preparing them. But then they're always like, oh, I'm already on sertraline or Lexapro. I'm like, wow, who isn't on medication?
I took meds not directly after Cole was born. I don't think I even realized that. I think I was so busy. He was born during COVID. like right when the world shut down. So it was May of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
Like March, it was spring break when all the schools closed and they didn't reopen. So I was home with Blake and Jackson, pregnant with Cole. And we were having some kind of early scares with him. He was not growing. He was not moving well. So we ended up delivering him at 36 weeks. And no visitors. You couldn't come in.
No, I couldn't come in. So
Right.
I gave you my camera. And I was like, Matt, don't mess this up. And he did.
he messed
I'm
it
just
up.
kidding. But anyway, no. I definitely remember that. How was that?
Cole's birth?
Yeah.
Just, being prepared. It was, Dr. Wright, it's great. She is the most calming presence in any storm.
Yeah. Doesn't make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah. There's, and I get that when I do the same thing every day. You have a problem and you face it and you do what you can for your patients. So, we had NICU team in there ready and waiting. She had the medicine for hemorrhage because I had bled so much every other time.
I'm sure she had that for Blake's too.
Yeah, she did. She was ready. We didn't even wait. She just shot me up.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Good.
Make sure we're prepared.
So did they induce you with Cole since it was that early?
I was already like 5 centimeters.
Oh, wow.
Or I don't know, 4 or 5, something at the office that day. And just baby number 3 in 3.5 years, my body was just ready. He wasn't moving. He was not growing. We took him. We technically induced. They started pushing Pitocin and but he was out probably within 2 hours. And
oh my gosh,
he was 6 pounds, so much,
thank God,
so much smaller than the other two because he was so
you.
early. I know. And
he would have been like 8 or 9 pounds.
He probably would have, just like the other two.
Yeah.
All good. He went to the NICU just for the day. He was breathing pretty fast when he came out, but didn't need anything. And we actually went home the next day. So even though he was 4 weeks early in this little nugget, we went home. But so we were talking about postpartum depression. And so after he was born, it was COVID. Everyone, you remember that weird time where we didn't hang out with our parents because everyone was terrified we were going to give them this thing.
I know. I was terrified.
I've got feelings on that now. I can't believe we all wasted.
I know.
Well, I don't know. We acted on the information that we had at the time.
Absolutely. And you had a baby. Yeah. Like you were in a very vulnerable state. Right. So you were doing what everyone else was doing, what they were telling us to do.
Telling us to do, but it was awful. I didn't leave the house. And Matt, I went to the store and Matt did everything, and I was home with the 3 kids. Yeah. All of the time, and Blake was not even Blake was 15 months old.
Was she walking?
She had just started walking.
Jeez. They're all in the complete different stages.
All different stages. Jackson was 3. Yeah. Like 3.5. Blake had just started walking. She was 15 months old. She still needed so much attention and your usual stuff, diapers and feeding
the food,
and high chair.
All 3 babies are in complete different stages of food.
I know.
Like, it's so hard.
It was insane, and I could not have gotten through it without a couple friends that spent the summer with me. They brought their kids. I had another friend that had her baby a month before. We just lived at the house all summer, and I wouldn't have gotten through it without them.
Thank God you had that. Thank God.
Absolutely. And I remember a couple times, middle of the day, just calling my mom, just crying. I couldn't even get words out. No. I was just hysterical and I was crying, and she didn't do anything, but she said, I'm on my way. and there she was, and she took the baby. And people don't have that support, and I don't know how they do it.
I know.
I've got so many friends now that are not from Memphis and have moved away from their families and have all these kids, and I
can't do it.
I try to be the support with the extra time that I have if I can, and help out, but it's amazing that people can do it without the support, and I don't know where I'd be without our families that helped with the kids and helped us keep them out of daycare for a year or so. And but they're older. I made it. Right?
You did.
We made it.
I haven't made it yet, but I'm gonna be there soon, right?
Yes, you made it. We all made it in some sense. It's hard. Every stage has its hard. Pick your hard.
I know, and so that's another thing that I think about, because I'm like super spiritual, so I like really struggle with, okay, like I'm ready for the next stage, but also like, oh my God, I don't want them to grow up too fast. But then I'm like really tired, and then I get overwhelmed with thinking about it. It's ridiculous. So I just like need to chill, and I can't wait to get on anxiety meds. Hopefully they just like give me the right
back to
one.
that.
Yeah.
Well, each person is different. There are so many different options.
Yeah.
You can try this. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And back to Cole, what I was saying, I was just surviving like you always are. But baby 3 in that situation was even more of a survival mode. And then we moved, and then Dad died. And then I think, after that, it was, okay, I need help.
Yeah.
I need help.
And
so
been through a lot.
I started the meds. I started therapy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. The kids were all in school at this point. Life was somewhat getting back to normal post-COVID. I mean, not really, but it took some time. But I finally could not get off the floor. I was like, I need help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we made it.
Yeah.
We're good. But yes, modern medicine.
Heck yes.
See your doctor, take the meds, do
Yeah.
what you need, therapy. And I realized that I am fortunate to be able to afford this
I know.
because I bought a Peloton, right?
I know. I'm so jealous.
I did all the things, the checkbox. Okay, go do your monthly facials or Botox or makes me happy. Go
Oh God, I can't wait to get
buy
Botox
your
again.
Peloton.
Yeah, your Peloton.
And exercise and go pay for therapy $100 a month or $100
A session.
a session. I think I was going
Sometimes.
every week for probably 6
Good.
months. So I'm fortunate to be able to afford that. I know not everyone can.
No.
And I don't want to overshadow that.
Yeah.
That's a privilege, or that's something I've been able to have the opportunity to work for, to pay for, to get that help. And it's not easy for everybody at all.
I will say there are, maybe I should look this up and attach this to this episode, but I know that there are people and places available for people who can't, like maybe like it'd be a counselor and not like a, therapist or psychiatrist or something. So there's definitely things available, but it's hard to, unless you are raised, thinking like therapy's good for you, like it's hard to admit that you need it. I grew up, we went to Catholic school. I say now it's Catholic, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. This Bud Light seltzer is getting some late. No, I'm just kidding. But so we always had a counselor. I remember we had to talk to them like once a month or something, like our counselors.
Yep.
And this is kind of a funny story. I think it was sophomore year. I'm not going to say her name, but we had a counselor, St. Agnes, and she was the devil. She was,
No, I think she was.
Do you remember her?
I was probably gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
She looked like a sweet little thing, but nope. But anyway, I would go in, and I guess I felt like comfortable. So I would share my feelings about things. And she ended up telling my mom that I'm suicidal. Yeah. No.
Were
Nowhere
you?
near it.
Okay.
Nowhere. No, I probably was talking about boys or something. Anyway. So my mom got me a therapist, and I went and talked to her. And, then when you're a kid, like you leave the therapist and then the parent goes in and talks to the therapist. The therapist was like, Pamela, to my mom, like, no, Camilla is fine.
She's fine.
She's just emotional.
Right. She's just a teenager.
She's emotional. She's going through puberty. I started, a period so late. So I was going through puberty sophomore year.
Yeah,
That's when I
was like
started my
14.
period.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she was like, this is weird. And then the counselor there kept making me go in and talk to her, but I felt so uncomfortable. So we had confrontation, and I'm like so respectful. So it was really hard for me to like tell an older person, like, leave me the F alone.
Right.
But it ended up getting so bad that she got fired.
Yeah.
She got, I think God, this is a lot of information, but I recorded a session with her. Yeah, I recorded it because they're saying that she's saying this stuff about me. So I recorded it. She got fired immediately. No clue what she's doing. But anyway, so I had gone to therapy, and then I had an incident in high school. And so my mom wanted me to go back to talk to this therapist, and I'm so glad I did. So I'm comfortable with that. And then in college, my dad told me, like, my dad's like friends with like a lot of really successful businessmen. And my dad told me that one of them, he was late for a tennis match or something, and he was like, where were you? Are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I was at therapy. And my dad was like, oh my God, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I make all my employees go once a month. Like that's, you should do that. You should talk about it, get it out, have an unbiased opinion. So I've just been very pro therapy or
Right.
whatever. I've been doing it since, I guess, over almost a year now. I started with doing it twice a month, and now I'm like once a month or if needed.
Right.
And it's the same therapist actually, because she knows me obviously so well. But I am so pro therapy, and I understand why. I mean, I guess people make it seem like it's bad, but you have an unbiased opinion. You have someone who is trained in giving you the best advice, but also just someone to vent to and talk to and get your feelings out.
Right.
And a lot of the times I talked to her, and she didn't even have to tell me anything. I figured out for myself.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be in therapy. I'm like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. Like, I know what my problem is, but we're just going to talk about it anyways.
Yeah.
It's just like a self-guided
Yes.
thing. And talk therapy is so good.
It really is.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend that because like, kind of like what you just said earlier. I mean, I maybe I thought about like money because, you know, it is expensive, and I just kind of avoided it for so long, and maybe in denial and maybe a little bit prideful. Like, I can get through this postpartum depression. I'm fine, you know, but it was like you said, I was hiding. My hiding spot is my closet, and I was hiding in my closet on the ground crying. And I've never gotten to a point of like suicidal or like I would kill myself, because I just am thinking about my kids. I don't want them to live without me, you know, and I don't want to do that yet. And I'm very spiritual or whatever. But I definitely got to the lowest of low.
Yeah.
Right before that, I guess. I don't know. My lowest of low. So going to her was and just to bring this back up too, it was another me time. I had a whole hour or whatever to myself talking about things, and I would leave it like, whew, like I will say maybe like one or two I left like, oh God, like, but not that many. But it's just, I don't know, it's another person to vent to and talk to. And of course you should be able to talk to your friends and family, but sometimes like you might not want to put that on them. It might stress them out.
Yes.
Like if I have something going on, like I tell my mom everything. So sometimes I've realized now that I really have a daughter, I'm like, I feel guilty because now my mom's like going to think about me being upset this entire day. So I might not like put that on her. She'd be mad at me saying that. She'd be like, tell me anyway.
Yeah. That's what moms do.
I know.
Bring us our problems. We're here to love you.
Absolutely. But I guess this is just something interesting. And a story that I, you know, because maybe someone who listens to this doesn't know anything about me or know my, you know, what's going on. But bringing home your pets, bringing home your kids or your newborn baby to your pets.
Yes.
So I have 2 dogs. We have 8 dogs together in my family. 8 dogs. Thank God we have that big backyard back there. But anyway, I've got 2 here. Oh, and there's Hanky right there. Hank is a black lab. He's incredible.
Hank, I remember when you were...
When I got him in Martin, right?
In college, yeah.
Yes.
Hank, baby.
My little baby. But when I was pregnant, Hank knew I was pregnant. I know he knew. He put his paw on my belly. He obviously slept with me every night. Yes.
Absolutely. They know.
Yeah. And Leroy, I think that's kind of the moment he's a bloodhound. He started maybe becoming a little protective of me. Like if Hank walked by me, he'd be like, and I'm like, no. Like, no, don't. Here we go. So we were pretty nervous a little bit what he'd do with the baby. But when we brought Chessa home, they were fine. They were very excited, obviously, just like your dogs were. But they were so excited. You can see the video.
Tail wagging.
Yeah, you and Matt had a competition whose dog was going to lick Jackson first. Do you remember that?
Jetta wins.
Jetta won.
Absolutely.
You won. You were like, I won.
Yes.
But anyway, and they were fine. But as Chess was getting older, if Hank walked by Chess, Leroy would growl. He felt protective of her. But Hank never felt uncomfortable or anything. It's probably the breed. I don't know.
Right, the lab
But
breed.
I'm like, what right way is there to do this? Some people say bring a blanket home. I don't know. So what did you do?
I think we gave you a blanket. I think we gave you
I remember
something,
you doing that.
But I don't know. I just inherently feel like dogs know.
Yeah.
Like they knew we were having a baby and they snuggled with that bump. And I remember when I was early pregnant with Jackson, or maybe like a couple days before I even knew, me and Matt were screwing around and, you know, pillow fight. I don't know what we were doing.
Like,
but no. All right. And out of nowhere, like Bomber jumps up on the bed, is like all fours growling at Matt. And we were like, what in the world is that? And then literally probably, I think like 2 days later, I was a positive pregnancy test. And I was like, man, they know.
Oh, yeah.
They can smell it. They know.
I believe it.
So I didn't do much. I think I gave you and Brad a burp cloth or something for the hospital.
I think you gave us the newborn blanket that the hospital gave you.
But they were fine, just slowly introducing. Jetta, I'll be honest, Jetta has not been great with the kids. She's older. And
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Older.
Bomber's been fine, but Jetta wasn't. She has not been great, and it's been an issue. And I know I probably know where you're headed with your dog story, and I'll make you feel better about it for sure.
Well, with Leroy, like, he is never been aggressive, never been anything with anyone. He's been around kids, like, not all the time, but when he was a puppy, when we got him, he was around kids. But Hank, I don't know. I really do think the breed has a lot to do with it. But like Hank, like little kids will pull on his ears or whatever. And if it hurt Hank would cry rather than snip at them or something. But Leroy, he will jump up and run away. That's what he does. He just tries to escape from the situation. Hank, he's like, are you talking about me?
Podcast.
Hey, Hank, you got anything to say? So, this story about Leroy. So, Chessa started, crawling, and I've been in a situation at a photo shoot where, like, a new mom has wanted, Hank.
We good, boy.
Hank, chill, bro. Go lay down. Where, like, the mom would want to put the newborn baby, like, on the dog. I'm just, like, not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
The dog's uncomfortable. The dog could bite the baby. I don't know. So I usually am like, no. But one time I like let it happen, and the dog was a great dog, but was like, you could tell it was like,
nervous.
So I was like, okay, like, let's get her off. I'm sorry. I just don't feel comfortable with it. It's just, you don't want to put that dog in that situation. They're the center of attention to not being anymore. And it's sad. Like, when people were telling me that, because that my dogs are my children. I mean, my packages are named after my dogs. But it is different. It is different. So, but you want to let them get used to it and not just full on, not pay attention to them or whatever. And they could get jealous. But the only thing with Leroy is he just is skittish. Even when it was just us, if he's sleeping and we like touched him, he would jump up and sprint away. So, Chessa started crawling and then started walking, and she's like, I don't know, following him walking or something. And I hear her like slam to the ground crying. And I see like Leroy like on the ground like this crying. Thank God, like nothing happened. I don't know if his butt hit her or what, but she was like crying. Like I heard her hit the ground, and they were walking in a circle right here. And so I'm like, what on earth? And so like me and Way like thought about it a lot. Like, gosh, that's like, what if he like bit her or something? We don't think he ever would, but I mean, when you have a kid, you're like mama bear. So anyway, we just kind of kept our eye on it. When was this? I don't even know now. I like blacked out with the situation. It was pretty rough.
6 months. Wasn't it 4 months ago maybe?
Maybe it was like October.
So that was 6
I don't know.
months
I
ago.
need to look.
Yeah.
But I'm doing laundry. Wade's Wade's taking his parents' dog to the vet for surgery or something. And so I'm home alone with the kids. I'm doing laundry. Raylan's sitting in his little seat. Leroy's laying in a dog bed in our room, and Chess is like running back and forth making Raylan laugh.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I'm like walking back and forth from our room to laundry room, which is connected. Like I can still see in the room. But I hear Chessa like kind of scream, and I like peek my head in the room, and I see her falling, and she's like crying, screaming, crying. God, here comes the PTSD. But she's like screaming, crying, and she's pointing at Leroy. She's going, wee boy. And I'm like, what? And I'm holding her, and I'm looking at him, and he's just sitting there like nothing happened. So I'm like, well, if he did something wrong, like he would be terrified.
Right.
And I'm like, it's bad. It's not just like a scratch or something. Right. So I'm like, okay. And Raylan's screaming, crying, because he is the most dramatic, needy child baby in the entire world. So he's screaming, crying. and Chesa's screaming, crying, and Leroy's just sitting there, and I'm trying to hold her face together because trying to hold her face together to stop the bleeding. Luckily, it stopped really fast.
Right.
But then I'm not even going to call Wade at this point. I need to call 911. So call 911, and they're on their way over. Call my mom, tell her. And then I call Wade, and I'm like, you need to come home right now.
Right.
And, Leroy did something, and you need to come home. So anyway, and I put Leroy outside. I wanted to beat the shit out of him. But obviously, I didn't know what happened. I don't want to do that. So I just stuck him outside. Chesa's still crying. I mean, like, she's shaking. She's terrified. So, and I don't know what he did. It's like on both sides of her face. I don't know what happened. So they show up, and animal control shows up. Like, if you've met Leroy and my bloodhound, he is like, dude, like, he isn't going to harm a damn fly. So they're like looking at him. They're like, oh, they're like, okay. And then they don't even touch him. Like, they're not taking this guy away. But anyway, it was freaking traumatic. We ended up going to the ER. She has to get stitches. That was traumatic as can be. I mean, like they had to give her drugs to, make her loopy. And the whole time in my head, I'm like, I wish that it happened to me. I would do anything to make this like I would have to deal with this and not her. And then also in my head, I'm like, I'm going to have to get rid of my dog, my other kid. And how do I live without him?
Right.
So anyway, every doctor that came in, do you remember Aja from St. Agnes? She was there. Yeah. Thank God I had her. We need to
talk about an Aja story after this too.
Okay. Well, she was there, and thank God, like Wade and I, like everywhere we go, we always know someone. You're probably the same way. Memphis is a small world. Right. But anyway, and so every single person was like, this was not a bite. This looks like him pushing her away with his paw, like him just trying to escape. Right. Mm-hmm. So what I really believe happened is I believe that she tripped on his bed, running back and forth, fell on him. He jumped up and pushed, like bloodhounds have talons, pushed off her face to get away. So that's truly what I believe. But anyway, she got her stitches. It was traumatizing. Hopefully she will never remember it.
She won't.
Honestly, every day she still will go, wee boy, squatch. And I'm
like, but it'll fade.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, it's okay. He loves you. Do you miss him? So now she'll go, wee boy, squatch, miss him. I'm like, okay. But anyway, so obviously with having another baby, Raylan crawling around, and he's wild. He'd jump off the roof if he could. Leroy's not here. Thank God for my parents. They took him in. Now, poor things. They have 4 dogs, and all of them are my fault. But they took him in. Thank God, because I couldn't live without him. But it's not that we're like, we hate you. You are not here anymore. We don't trust you. It's I don't want to live uncomfortably. Right. I don't want to live with the anxiety of thinking. Yeah. So. I mean, they could fall on Hank and Hank not even move a muscle. Obviously, I don't let that happen. But so he's not here anymore, and it sucks. So I don't really know like the best advice to give anybody with pets, but it's to know that anything can happen and be cautious. Don't just throw this baby on a dog. Or don't leave them, in the room without you in there. I don't really know. I kind of think it was a freak accident, honestly. Or I think about this all the time, which mom guilt. I'm like, I shouldn't have left his bed right there or left Raylan there or something, So, but I know that's silly, but I don't know, just kind of think about those things. And, I mean, that's really the only thing that for advice I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it probably mentioned to you, but Jackson and Jetta got his nose once.
With her mouth.
I mean, we didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure she bit him because Jackson said Jetta bite, and he's got a little scar, and he was bleeding. Notice. I know. So, I mean, we keep them separated. Yeah. I don't let we have at our new house, we have the screen-in porch, and the dogs, spend a lot of time outside. They come in, but we're always, if they're in, we're monitoring the situation at this point. And that was 3 years ago.
She's an old lady. She has been
old girl.
She was there when I came to visit you before I came to Martin for soccer.
Yeah, I was like 19.
Yeah.
And now I'm 31. Woo.
Oh gosh.
So
we're getting
old girl. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
So she got Jackson, and you just do the best you can. And when it happened, she went to live with my dad for probably a month or so.
Your dad was like, come on, Tori.
I know. That's a tough thing, but I know time has helped. We figure out how to keep them separated.
Yeah.
And I'm more scared at this point, like if friends' kids come over, like, and we're in the backyard, trying to make sure that keeping an eye on it. But you love them both. I'm pretty sure Jackson has bigger scars from his siblings or his friends. And Jackson's definitely handed out some bruises and made some people bleed before too. Oh my God. So, it's part of it. Kids are going to get hurt. Jackson, Jackson broke his collarbone on the way out.
I know.
Right. And he's broken a toe. He busted here. He's had glue. He's had a staple in his head.
A staple? Boys are crazy. I'm terrified about Raylan. He's wild.
Just call me.
Okay. I'm serious. He's wild. He will like get on like the little chair, that kids have now, and he will look at me and start smiling, and then he'll jump off it. So I have to dive and catch him. He does it on purpose. He'll land on his face and he'll just get up and cry, and then he'll be like, I'm like, you are crazy. I'm terrified for sports.
I'm you gonna learn today, Mom.
You gonna learn today?
You gonna learn today, Mom.
Oh my God.
There's too many of them. I can't watch them all 100% of the time. And do all the things you still have to do. You have to do the dishes. You have to cook. You have to make sure everyone has what they need. Their clothes for school. You cannot be.
You don't have time to breathe. Sometimes I forget to breathe, and I'm like, oh my God, like what was I doing? But I videoed on Instagram the day in my life, and obviously like I would need like a camera crew to follow me around the whole day to see how much I do. But I tried to give a gist of it, because even posting on Instagram takes time, especially if it's for a business. But oh my God, it's just, you're constantly doing something. You're constantly feeding, constantly getting clothes, constantly trying to keep the house clean.
Right.
I mean, we had this entire house clean last night, and
it doesn't matter.
I mean, no, I know. That's one thing I have to help my OCD-ness about, because Wade and I both, like when we were dating, we were so serious about everything clean. And so like one thing I had to place, I'm like, it bothers me, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave it there.
We live here.
Yeah.
And literally all those Instagram photos you see, there is a corner full of shit behind it. Like,
oh God, yeah.
We literally live here. There's food on my high chair and on my floor because I have a 1-year-old who likes to throw things. And you're thinking about it this way. You're teaching your older kids, your toddlers, how to be independent. Yeah. Take this to the laundry, put this in the trash, and they're kids.
Yeah, they need chores too. Jess has chores. Yep. She feeds Hank.
Hey, Hank.
I will make her like put stuff in the trash, or I finally got her to help clean up. That took a bit.
Well, it's that literally they are learning. Yeah. Every single day. Yep. So you just got to give them grace and know that it's not perfect. And our main goal is to keep these kids alive every day and do it again. And not every day is going to be perfect. Yeah. And to be able to do that, we have to take care of ourselves. Yes. We really do. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, Hank might have to poop or something. He's doing the backwards growl. Well, first of all, I want to say you're an amazing mom. You're a role model. You were like my first friend to be a mom. So that was me.
Yeah.
First mom.
And I literally filmed you becoming a mom. But thank you so much for doing this with me. And thank you for being the bestest friend ever and the bestest mom friend ever, and always here for me and giving me the best advice. I love you. I love you. But yeah, let's have the Aja story. Shout out to Aja.
Aja. Oh man, girlfriend. One of the scariest times in my life. So it's just, I didn't know Aja was there when Chester got hurt. When Jackson was 14 months old, he had been sick for a few weeks. We had really started to struggle. Something was wrong and we couldn't figure it out. And finally one night, we had the outlet monitor, oxygen monitor, and he had been so sick. We'd been in and out of the doctor. We had been to the ER earlier that day and actually knew the physician, and he was borderline. Jackson was, we could admit him now, but your medicine, go home, watch him, call me if something changes, maybe it'll be all right. Come 4 a.m., Jackson just was not breathing and he was so sick. So we put Jackson in the car. His oxygen levels within the low 80s, which you know, that's not good.
No.
For non-medical people
or people that don't have an outlet.
Right. Yeah. You just, no, that's not good. You know, he needed oxygen. He needed help. And so we put him in the car to take him downtown. We walk out. I literally bust my ass on the ice. This ice storm had started. It was January. And it took us over an hour from Fayette County to get downtown, and Jackson wasn't breathing well. And I'd called the doctor, my friend's dad, and he called downtown, and they were ready and waiting. And I pulled Jackson out of the car and I run him in, and Aja was standing right there.
Did you know she was there?
No.
Wow.
She met me at the door. She didn't even know it was me coming in. And I was hysterical, and
she didn't even know.
She knew that they had been called. They knew that this 14-month-old was coming in and was not breathing
she
well.
Knew it was you.
I didn't know who was there. She didn't know it was me.
So we played high school soccer with her,
Aja,
and we're very close.
Yes. And so she was there, and she was like, Tori, it's me. And I just gave her Jackson, just handed over my baby that wasn't breathing, and I was hysterical. And she took over and took him to the back, and they got him on high flow oxygen and everything. And we got him to the floor, and he had RSV and croup, and which is dangerous in itself. But Jackson has an airway abnormality that wasn't diagnosed yet. He's had like 6 surgeries since then. So it was a thing. But Aja checked on us the whole week we were there. She came up and visited, and it was just so good to have a friend take care of your baby.
Oh my gosh, yes. You feel so much more comfortable.
That's wild that
I know.
Aja was there.
Right?
Chessa got hurt too.
I literally walk in, and I'm like freaking out, and she's there. And she didn't get to work on Chessa. Like, she didn't do the stitches or anything.
Right.
Because she was with a baby, like a newborn baby at that time. But she came in the room every 5 seconds, like checking on us and reassuring me, because I'm sitting there with the worst mom guilt and dog mom guilt and everything. And, you know, Wade and I like freaking the hell out. So, but it's really good. Connections are important. They are not that, nice. I'm not going to say that would make a difference. Someone's not going to not take care of you, obviously.
Oh, for sure, but
it feels good.
It feels good. It's helpful to know that this person knows you and cares about your kids and whatnot. So I don't think we probably chatted since, but I haven't talked to Aja since that actually happened. So funny. That was a while ago, 2018.
Yeah.
So, hey,
I added her on Instagram, and then when Chess's stitches came out, it did not look like one of them was supposed to come out yet, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor in the medical field. And so I sent a picture to you, and I sent a picture to her, and I was like, gosh, she's going to hate me, because I'm like, hey, is her stitches okay? And she was like, yes, it's fine. Right. And they really do look really good.
Yeah. I've seen Chessa a couple times since, and I haven't even noticed. Like, I forgot it even happened.
I know. I do too. Thank God.
You won't just give it some more time. You won't eat.
I know. I still do. I'm like a crazy mom about the scar medicine. Well, I do Mederma and what's it called? Earth Mama.
Just sunscreener.
And sunscreen.
Yes.
Yes.
That's most important.
I know. And I like do a white blob on it. I don't even rub it in. I'm like, blob. She's going to have like a circle on her face. But woo. Thank you for talking to me today about mom stuff. We're just shooting the shit.
Yes.
We could probably do this for hours, so we're gonna have to do it again.
An entire night.
Yeah.
This, absolutely, because there's so many stories we could talk about.
I know.
Pregnancy loss and stuff for people that need that, and coming out on the other side of it. We could talk about grief and losing a parent while you're parenting.
I know. I would definitely love to talk to you about that.
There's
I know
much we could do.
A sensitive and horrible subject, but I definitely would love to talk to you about that. And I mean, and hear funny stories about the kids, because I know you got a lot.
Oh man,
3.
My favorite recently, I'll tell real quick before we gotta go. It's about how just stupid smart Blake is, and Jackson's reading. He is with it.
That's awesome.
We're so proud of him, and obviously our goal every day is to make sure we're raising like a kind kid.
Of course,
right? That's literally all we want.
Yeah.
But you know, we were talking one day and working on mixing colors with Jackson, and we were like, Jackson, what is blue and yellow? What does that make? And he's just sitting there. It's like, it makes blue. We're like, nobody. Like, think about it. What are we doing here? And Blake goes, it's green. It's just all the sass in the world. Like, Jackson, how did you not know this? I am 2 years old and I know my colors and then mixing.
She's like, seriously?
It's green.
Like, come on.
It's green.
She is a genius. That's how Chess is. She like lays down. She can't read yet. She's 2. But she literally like lays down. I have this like reading rocker thing. And she like acts like she's reading.
It's important.
It's insane. She's obsessed with it. And she's so smart. Like me and Wade will be tired or something, and we're like, oh, yeah, pick that up. And she's like, no, you pick this one up instead. And we're like, oh, you're right.
You're right.
Wow, thanks.
Just encourage it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. You want your kids to be smarter than you are.
Yes.
You know? You do. I pray every night that they learn from my mistakes and are smarter than me.
Yeah, that's all we can do for them. They're going to be fine. They're all going to be fine. The easiest thing in the world is to love your kids, and we all do it.
Yes.
So
I definitely love them. I love them too much. It hurts. Oh. But I love you too. And
yes, thank you for having me here today. I love seeing
you
and your
so
babies
excited.
and your dogs.
Oh, my camera died.
This one's for the brothers. You gotta love the mothers. And you gotta hug the ones who bring us joy and love. It's the middle with the moms and the sister day. I said now this one's for the brothers.